The Looney Tunes are on the grass.
Ooh.
Welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up to Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. My name is Gareth Blackler, and in a just unexpected crossover, my co-host is James Barron. Hello.
Hi, LeBron James Barron here. How's it going, Gareth? Oh, I'm the forgotten member of the family, but I've been stuck in the serververse for many years. All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Gareth was
you.
touting how premium his intro would be this time, and yeah, it was good. I was like,
Thank you.
Real nice. Yeah.
I had to scroll that intro idea down in the dark in a cinema.
Yeah. This is
'Cause
our first in-cinema sync, because we just watched Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. Is there a 2 in the title, actually?
no, I think they're just going full New Legacy.
Okay.
Wikipedia says also known as Space Jam 2.
Okay.
And both my ticket stubs said Space Jam 2 on them.
It's just easier, right? They've got all the data in there from Space Jam 1 back in 96 or whatever, 94, and they just kept it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just still got it locked in. Amazing. Yes, we watched a crazy film, and we synced it in the cinema.
Yeah.
How
Sneaking
was this?
headphones in
Oh my
to
god.
the cinema.
Yeah. I've never felt more like a criminal in my whole life, honestly.
Right?
Like, fucking hell. I'm a big fan of cinema, despite what this
Same.
podcast would say. As proven in a court of law, I feel like this podcast would come up as me proving otherwise. But anyway, I have a certain level of contempt for people who act out in cinemas or just like don't respect other cinema goers, and so I was terrified that I was going to get found out. But it's fine because I justified it as like I'm the weirdest cinema reviewer ever. Like
Yes.
and that like I wore a hoodie which was shady as hell and hid my headphones.
Oh, nice.
But I also had like a big clipboard notes where I was just scrawling notes in the dark. Like it's strange movie reviewer. I don't know if movie reviewers, they get their own screenings, right? Like previews for the movies. And presumably,
Surely, yeah.
they'd have the like house lights up so that they can take notes. I don't know. Or maybe they're just allowed their phones. I don't know what the deal is. I've never been a movie reviewer. Any movie reviewers, please get in touch with the pod.
This is my number one question for movie reviewers, because obviously if they're getting a screening, the movie makers are going to want them to enjoy it as much as possible, so they're not going to have the lights up, I would think. They'd want them to be like, this is what it's like. So yeah, I don't know. Do they dictaphone it? Like just muttering quietly to themselves? Do they...
They can't do that.
No.
Just talking to Diane in the middle of the cinema, that's not a good move. You know?
So I wonder, should we be trusting any reviews? Because they're clearly... I had to look away from the screen. I had to bend over and hold my piece of paper towards, the little aisle seats.
Yeah.
And, try to scroll something down. Some of these, I ended up just having a shorthand for Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
There was a drawing of Bugs Bunny I did to explain something to myself that looks like an odd growth, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. And taking the notes wasn't the weirdest thing we were doing.
It's so true. You're so right. Oh my god. Yep.
How did you do it? I just adjusted volume on the fly the whole time.
I did that as well.
Yeah.
I had my phone face down on the seat next to me so that the light wasn't on. And so I wasn't distracting other moviegoers. But yeah, I was constantly pushing that volume up and down so that I could still hear the music in time with the film.
Yeah.
However, I had no such luxury of being able to angle my notes in any kind of way where I could see what I was writing. And so I very quickly just adopted the stance of well, I'll get what I get. And I was writing without looking down, just taking, as if I was taking notes in a lecture. and at the highest stakes possible, where I can't look down at my notes at any point. So I've just been writing like eyes forward for the entire time, and a lot of times I've written over like sentences that I've already got.
Same.
It's very good. It's like regressing to a child's writing style, and that I've written all over the page. Either I'm a child or like someone going slowly mad, because these notes are a sight to behold. We are we are drifting all over the page in a wonderful way.
Let's definitely post a picture on our Twitter of these notes.
Oh, definitely.
I've just looked at mine and I've written RR, and then a drawing of, I think it's an onion.
I'm very impressed that you could even attempt to draw. That's amazing. Like,
it was just quicker than writing. I
that's
thought.
fair. My like I'm actually kind of impressed that I have anything like decipherable at all. My handwriting in the dark is crazy good. I'm pretty impressed. If I hadn't like written over other lines, I feel like my notes would be fully decipherable. But yeah, pretty good. Not bad.
Nice.
Dark writing, James. Well done, mate. But of course, that's not the craziest thing we're going to be talking about. No.
Even the headphone thing isn't the craziest thing about this whole experience, because the movie dunks on it so much.
Yeah. There's high capacity of dunks. A lot of
a
lot of style points in and out of basketball in general that we're going to cover off. Oh my god, what an experience. We're going to do our best.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just have to say, because I did not trust my phone. I've had like a lot of weird experiences with streaming services on my like kind of out of date broken phone. So I figured I'd go more out of date, and I was going to take my iPod, but couldn't find the iPod with Pink Floyd on it. Had to load it on my little iPod Nano that I got from my mum when she stopped using it. And it's one of those little ones that's all touchscreen. So it was a lot weirder. Like, I was essentially holding what looked like a pedometer and just clicking it up and down during the film. Like,
that's so...
like some sort of...
I like that a lot. Like, you're like counting steps or something.
Yeah.
You're counting something very specific. Like every time LeBron James says the or something like that, you know? Every time he looks directly to camera. I don't know.
He was pretty good at not doing that.
It was pretty good. I feel like that Don Cheadle does it more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's having a good time. Shall we try and talk about this wild movie?
Yeah. So I don't think we've mentioned the film yet.
Yeah, we did. Space Jam 2.
Oh, duh. Yeah, we talked about titles. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to do our best.
The long-awaited sequel, I believe 25 years later, they make a sequel to Space Jam. They'd briefly, in the time that passed, they wanted to do a second Space Jam with Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. They wanted to do Spy Jam with Jackie Chan.
Okay, that would have been great. I've been into that.
Right?
Yeah, Chan would be down for that.
I believe there was Golf Jam discussed. And,
oh no!
Like, I guess Car Jam or some sort of jam involving race cars.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them happened after Looney Tunes Back in Action didn't do very well in the late 2000s. Yeah,
with the Brendan Fraser, in there.
Yeah,
ugh,
and
such a shame.
So this became like LeBron's pet project, I guess, and he's been the one keeping the faith alive. And then again, we talked about films that we didn't think would actually come out before. This was number one on my list of films I never thought would exist, and yet, I was in a room with a bunch of people proving it existed.
Yeah, I feel like everyone was kind of in shock in my screening of the film that it would exist. I went to it's school holidays at the moment as well. For the record, and so I didn't really want to go during a time when kids would be there. So I went to the latest screening possible, 8:50. Finishing up at about 11 o'clock for my screening, and so it was all just like adults. I appreciated the clientele of the movie. There was the whole back row of the cinema was booked by just a bunch of lads.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. They were all together. And there was like about 20 something of them just in the back there. It was so great.
Oh,
They're
that
having
is
a good
great.
time.
All
Yeah.
hosting their own podcasts, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. They're all taking notes. I was very leery of them just like noticing me taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went mid Saturday,
Yep.
and mine was full of families, and there was one other person who was there alone, and she was living her life. She had a big like popcorn, a big drink.
Hell yeah.
And I was the opposite. I had my like beanie on, I had my little notepad, headphones on, tucked away. I booked the like back row corner, thinking no one's going to come near me.
Yeah.
And there's going to be later on, we're going to meet an interesting person who did come near me during the film, but
Oh,
we'll get to that.
okay. An interaction in the cinema. Amazing.
Yeah,
No,
there's layers.
I had a similar tactic to you in that like
Yeah.
I booked, so I was directly above the entrance to the cinema. It is in my own
nice,
like
yeah.
little like private box, like Statler and Waldorf Muppets style, which was kind of great, honestly.
Yeah.
It was like I was over to the side, but it felt really good having no one in front of me. And I had like this little like kind of desk situation where I could write my notes
Ooh.
as well, just on top of the entranceway there. So it was good.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
Yeah.
worked out for old JB. But anyway, we're avoiding talking about this film.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, saying. Opening titles, Warner Brothers logo, etc. Important to note as we go into this, I don't have my usual note-taking style of me covering off every scene in this movie. It's not going to happen that way. We're going to cover off as much as we can that I remember, but
Yeah.
in general, I'm going to be deferring to a synopsis, but also looking at my insane notes to see what's happening. We start the film with a very young LeBron James. I do appreciate that this echoes the mirror of Space Jam, both starting out with their like intro to how they got into basketball. Key characters, Michael Jordan and LeBron James. So he's here like on the bench, I think, like waiting to get put in. Hanging out with his friend who offers him a Game Boy to have a go on, and then has a go. It's like a Bugs Bunny platformer game, I guess in the 90s. I've never seen this game before. I'm sure it's real though. It looked real. Looked like a real Game Boy Bugs Bunny game. Has a go on that, but like then his coach comes over and is like, "Man, you gotta focus on basketball. Video games. If you take it seriously, man, you're gonna be like one of the best, and you got to get rid of these distractions." And it like misses a shot very early on as well. Like this kid version of LeBron James, not quite as good as Michael Jordan is at the start of Space Jam. So he didn't have that in his rider, I guess.
Yeah.
Can be shown to be bad at basketball, even as like a child. But he's like takes this advice on board. He's like, you got to focus and like put away these distractions. And so he tosses out his friend's Game Boy, which is a messed up move, I thought.
Yeah.
He just throws
Bad
it into the trash can. Ridiculous. And then we get the opening credits here. So like cold open and then opening credits. Opening credits here, not as cool, not as intense as the OG Space Jam. A lot of like similar kind of structure, and that we're seeing a lot of LeBron James's like games going through his career and between different teams and stuff.
Yeah, that was helpful because I didn't realize he'd switched teams that many times.
Yeah, it's good setup for a joke later. And there's a lot of like rotoscope animation over top of this as a style.
Very like if you're watching a hype YouTube channel about basketball, the same kind of graphics.
Yeah, honestly, felt kind of amateur. I was like, this is sort of like, I felt very YouTubey, and like it's fun, but it's nowhere near on the level of like a high budget production should be. Like even compared to the like over the top intro of the first Space Jam, Like, this just doesn't compare. It's like really boring, I found. Wasn't satisfied at all by that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're getting breathed for this, by the way.
Which also is like, again, because we can't mute for this one, so we're getting a mix of breathe and like a hype hip hop track.
Yeah.
But it's still, even without the breathe, it's just not like it's not like breathe is taking away the hype. It just doesn't have enough hype in it to kind of begin with.
Absolutely. It's just like, yeah, I guess it's basketball. It's like I didn't know what I expected, but I expected more, you know? That's it. But the movie doesn't hold back from here, so it's fine.
No. Yeah.
just the opening credits are disappointing, basically. Yeah, at least it's kind of like faithful to the original. Yeah, we cut from here to the basketball court at LeBron James's house. I presume this is his like real court that he has. It's in his sons here, Dom and Darius are out here.
That sounds right.
And they're like Darius is shooting some hoops, and Dom is over to the side playing a game on his phone, which we find out that he has developed. He is a video game developer that he made this game in 2 weeks, which is crazy. Very impressive. This game is fully featured and cool.
And he's only 12.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's the synopsis that I'm looking at describes him as a child prodigy, which I would agree with.
It's not very neutral for Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's certainly not. I feel like that we could drop a citation needed on that. But yeah, so he's not really interested in basketball. The other son, Darius, seems to be like studying it hard. And then LeBron James comes out, scolds them for like having fun and not like just practicing and being good at basketball. He's really harsh on his kids.
Right?
In this intro, and it kind of shocked me. I was like, damn, this is not like the idyllic life that Michael Jordan had in Space Jam 1.
No, yeah.
Like, LeBron, like, kind of is painted in a way where he just doesn't understand his own kids or his family. He's quite, like, aloof and harsh. He's like
robotic.
Yeah, he's like, everything out here on this court, that's work. This is not for fun. This is no fun or games, boy. Yeah, we get the crash sound for On the Run of him just like dropping this harsh vibe. It's terrible. Yeah.
I mean, it stacks him up better than Michael Jordan as like an actor and character though, because now he has somewhere to grow.
Yeah.
Whereas Michael Jordan's just going to look slightly perplexed for a whole movie. Whereas, like, it's good that LeBron was like, "Hey, for this vanity project for me, I'm okay to look a little bit lame." Like, look like a bad dude.
It's true. I can respect that. I think that's it adds like it adds a level of tension to the movie that Space Jam never had. So I can appreciate that. Another feature of this outdoor basketball court, like most and many are, there's like a recurring thing here where there's a basketball like dispenser, like it shoots a basketball out. When LeBron requests a ball. Pretty sure this is real? I don't know.
Like, it's gotta be.
Is this technology that exists?
Surely.
It's cool. If it doesn't exist, it should. But yeah, he calls out for a ball, and then they play this multiple times for a couple of gags where like they'll just say ball and someone will get hit in the head with a basketball getting shot at because they aren't ready.
And I do have to say, lots of kids in my theater, lots of families, lots of like probably dads our age who remembered this movie and took their kids along. This was these kid getting hit by a basketball slapstick moments were the only laughs from the kids the whole movie.
Damn. Amazing. Oh my god.
Right?
Like,
even like there's more slapstick later, but the kids were not interested. They wanted real
violence.
Kids getting hit. Yeah.
Damn. They've been watching the like people getting hurt compilations on YouTube, and that's the only way that they can enjoy things now through the pain of others.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't think that's true. But yeah, like you would think that they would change the machine to any other word. I feel like saying the word ball on a basketball court is like hazardous, like as the passcode phrase. I feel like you're gonna get balls flying all over the place faster than you'd like.
Yeah, especially if you're on that basketball court and you're listening to this podcast on a little speaker. Like,
Damn right.
We've just fired so many balls.
Ball. You got to pick all those up now.
Exactly. That's what there's no machine for that, LeBron.
No. Oh my god, he probably does have one. Just a little basketball Roomba. Yeah, the final joke for this just does not land because it's like what the kid says, like, oh, what's for dinner? Spaghetti and meatball. Like, that's not a thing, guys. Like, I get the joke. The ball flies out and hits the kid in the face, but like, and then
that's a stretch.
It's followed up with LeBron saying, "That's my favorite." Like, what? He just has one big meatball. That's his move. Just a lot of spaghetti and one large meatball on top.
It's just one long strand of spaghetti connected to one meatball.
Yeah. Amazing.
Now, you said it didn't work, but again, I've got a cinema of Auckland kids who thought that was the second best joke in the film, followed by the first time it happened. So.
Wow. Okay. There you go.
They might have laughed at other parts, and my Pink Floyd was too loud. I have to, pass it on. But
just the wails of Great Gig in the Sky blotting out laughter. Classic. Yeah. So, yeah, we get a better look at the game that Dom has built, this, like, basketball arcade game where there are, like, power-ups and, like, supers and extra points and things like that. And it's pretty cool. LeBron comes and, like, plays a bit with his son on here and just to, like, hang out with him a bit. And, yeah, it's, like, a good bonding moment. And then he's like, well, I've got to go down to Warner Brothers because there's this thing that's happening there. And it's like, okay, do you want to come with me to Warner Brothers for this deal that I have to talk about? And he's like, sure. Cut to Warner Brothers. We go into the servers and internet realm of Warner Brothers, and in here is algorithm, a sentient algorithm played by Don Cheadle, and his apprentice or like little friend. What's his name? I can't remember.
Pete.
Pete, that's right.
Yeah, he's some sort of cutesy. He's essentially the Clippy, the paperclip from Microsoft.
Yeah. Is he like sentient headphones or something? I don't know what he is. He looks kind of like a like USB dongle or something come to life. He's cute. But I don't understand what he's meant to be in this world, but maybe I just don't know enough about servers.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Don Cheadle's here, and he's got this like grand plan. He's like, I'm going to get LeBron on board, and then I'll finally get the recognition that I deserve. And he sends an email out, and it goes to Sarah Silverman, who is chilling in a chair. And I'm like, oh shit, hey.
Yeah.
And she just
Sarah Silverman implying there's going to be a lot more famous cameos, but it pretty much dries out of Sarah Silverman.
Sort of just her, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm happy to see her. Yeah, she's getting an email like and says, "Oh, a new movie idea from the algorithm," implying that Warner Brothers has an algorithm in place. They algorithmically generate movie ideas, story ideas, rather than paying any sort of script writer. Like, is this like a very meta joke, or like pointing fun at movie studios having no good ideas and waiting around for algorithms to come up with them?
See, you'd think that, and it's very interesting because she's in front of a poster for Aquaman, the real film, and Joker, the real film.
Yeah.
You'd think there's a fun meta joke, and especially there's a bit later where it's even more meta and fun. But then the rest of the film implies, no, Warner Brothers is awesome. Warner Brothers has all this cool ideas.
Worth celebrating, yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe someone like a scriptwriter was angry and snuck that in,
Maybe.
and like Sarah Silverman, and maybe probably not the director. Some people knew, and some people definitely didn't.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it was kind of wild to me at the time. It
same.
opened it opened the Pandora's box of like me getting stuck on like how the Blue's Clues Blue Skidoo works. That like part of my brain activated as soon as this happened, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be talking about this on the podcast. So anyway, LeBron and his sons just Dom, right? LeBron, Dom, and their like family friend or like another guy. Who is this other guy?
He's like the assistant, but I think he's also the friend from the very beginning who gave him the Game Boy.
The Game Boy friend, that guy. They go down for this Warner Brothers meeting, and basically they're gonna like digitally image LeBron James and put him in Warner Brothers movies. So that like he doesn't have to do any of the acting, but they'll just use his image. Kind of like Tupac at Coachella, like levels of weirdness. LeBron clearly not thrilled on the idea as well, like with good reason. I feel like this is like some pretty shady territory that is kind of real, like people getting like deep faked. We joke a lot about deep fakes on the show, but this is like real deep fakes happening. Like they want to steal, well, not steal, they want to use his identity, pay him for his identity, and like insert it into movies and make him sort of dance around as a puppet. And it's kind of weird. Like I don't know how I would feel about this if I were a person. Like, how would you feel about being deep faked, Gareth?
No, please don't do it.
Yeah, I know we do it every day on the every time we record the podcast, but like, how would you feel like if you didn't give consent for that? Or it's weird, right?
Yeah. On the podcast, we just deep fake each other's voices and pretend to be each other. It's a very weird, confusing thing we do.
It's worth it, though.
Oh yeah, for that premium deep faked audio.
Oh, I much prefer your version of me to the real thing. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah, we do a great job.
He also so they show brief clips, and it's like, imagine LeBron James in Batman. Imagine LeBron James in Game of Thrones, and you're like, oh, that's weird. That's funny. And he even says, that's a terrible idea. No one's gonna want that. And then that's kind of what happens for the rest of the movie. Yeah,
it kind of is. Pretty amazing that they were like, didn't see that through line. It's so good.
If there was one other self-aware moment like that in this film, you'd be like, whoa, Space Jam 2 is a meta genius deconstruction. But no. Not
really. It's not the like critique of like the internet age of movies that it's sort of trying to be. But it's super not that.
I wonder if someone pitched the jokes of, maybe even pitched that scene as a joke, and then someone high up in Warner Brothers was just like, that's great, and just wrote the whole movie based on that joke. Like, took that one scene, built the rest of the movie around it, and never clicked like, oh no, that was the joke, guys.
Oh, whoops. We actually did the joke for real. That was a mistake. Never mind. Whoopsie. Oh, it's so good. I do really like as well in this intro bit, in this like little animated LeBron segment, he shoots Batman. He's like the bad guy in the Batman situation where he just shoots and like freezes Batman in this like gel or something. It's like, okay, maybe he's like, you were gonna convince LeBron James to be like a Batman villain, I guess. It was kind of shocking to me. Good point. Yeah, I was like, weird choice there.
You know how Bane was the only one to defeat Batman on cinema, and people were like, yeah. And it's like, nah, it's gonna be me, LeBron James.
Yeah, amazing. I forgot. I missed one thing. This is another bad thing with my notes. When LeBron was playing the video game with his son, he tried to do a move that he always does on the court, like a cross-up layup kind of thing. It's like a classic basketball move that he's known for or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it glitched the game out and broke Dom's character. His character like glitched out and got deleted with a million error messages all over the screen, like 1,000 like Windows crash boxes coming up, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's important to note that it's a plot point that I missed, and I wanted to circle back.
I assume you wrote it on top of a different plot point in the dark. So.
That is exactly what happened. Yeah. LeBron also dabs his way out of this scene, which is something that I also have just noticed. Yeah. So they go... They don't agree with this. LeBron's not keen on the idea. However, Dom is keen. And he's like, oh, tell me more about this, like, algorithm. That sounds pretty cool. Like, he knows about algorithms and stuff from making video games, I suppose. He's, like, a pretty clued up kid for a 12-year-old. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And
Steven Yeun's character. Steven Yeun, by the way, following his Oscar-nominated turn for Minari with Space Jam.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
The flip side of that coin. Love it.
This is what people need from me next.
Yeah, this is what no one's expecting from old Yen. From old Yenny boy. Amazing.
He then goes like, oh man, are you going to the big coding weekend? And, Dom's gonna go, but LeBron thought he was going to basketball camp that weekend.
Yeah, so, he was gonna bunk off of basketball camp and go to E3, which is great. E3, a legitimate gaming expo, but it's like a design camp for gaming, which probably exists, but would have been cancelled this year. E3, did not go ahead in either 2020 or 2021. So,
whereas basketball camp definitely went ahead.
Oh yeah,
so,
you got to get those dunks in.
You got to book tickets to both because odds are one's going ahead.
One's getting cancelled. Amazing. So he finds out about this and they're having a huge argument about it because LeBron's like, you aren't working hard at the thing that you need to be working hard at. You're losing focus. He's like seeing a lot of himself in his own son here, right?
Yeah.
And his son's like, I don't want to do basketball, Dad. Listen to me. I like playing video games and making video games. I'm not like actively trying to do the same thing as you. And also, I want to do what's fun in my life. He doesn't explicitly say all that there because that would solve a lot of this movie. But they're like not seeing eye to eye. An algorithm, meanwhile, LG Rhythm is pissed off that his idea was shot down by LeBron, and he's like, all right, I'm going to take matters into my own evil hands. And he sends them down to the basement because he controls the elevators and stuff, the whole building. And sends them down there into like a server like farm kind of room, this ridiculous CIA looking area. And he like goes down into the basement, and then they're like wandering around, they get separated, and then Dom gets eaten by the internet. He like LeBron like tries to find him, but just sees this like enormous like, I don't know, how would you describe this? A globe made of like hexes shifting in and out. It looks like something out of the video game Returnal, which is a nightmare sci-fi world. But he like,
that's pretty much it. A nightmare sci-fi world eats LeBron James's child.
Yeah. You know, and he describes it as what is this Matrix bullshit, which not the only appearance of the Matrix in this movie, and that floored me. I had no idea about any of that going in, so we're gonna get there. So it gets sucked into the computer realm, falls through space. Now we see like large planetoids that represent like the worlds of Warner Brothers, all the different
Yeah.
franchises that exist here, floating around in the ether. We fall through past like Harry Potter world and Game of Thrones world and DC Universe world
Mm.
and
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yeah. The
Yeah.
Matrix, which was easily my favorite one because you see the like party of Zion going on,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? Why would you reference that specifically?"
Yeah.
It was
And a
amazing.
massive red pill, despite the fact that's got a whole like
Oh yeah,
awful meaning now.
so badly done. Yeah, the two things from The Matrix that everyone loves and remembers: the big like underground orgy that happens, and red pills. Like that's everyone's favorite things from those movies, right?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. The like other reference they make is also
Oh my
like,
God.
that's the scene you chose.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, they fall down there and then land in sort of a generic kind of pixel realm.
Yeah.
And Dom's there, and Don Cheadle's here. The algorithm guy is here, and he's basically explaining where they are in the serververse of Warner Brothers Studios, and he's like the guy who runs things. He spirits Dom away to like corrupt him for later, and then he's like, "I'm gonna get you, LeBron. I'm gonna trick you. I'm blackmailing you here in the serververse." And yeah, basically he's like, "We're gonna play basketball, you and I, and if you win, you can have your son back. But if I win, then you're gonna live here with me forever." It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, the tone Don Cheadle reads that in, like,
Yeah.
the take they chose was him essentially saying, like, if you lose, you're gonna just have to hang out with me and be my friend. And then he copies himself, like a bunch of clones pop up.
Yeah.
It's like, that's such a weird, like, you want fame and stuff. You don't want just a buddy. You've got Pete.
Yeah. Pete's apparently not good enough. He's
Yeah.
so bored and sick of everything down here and being underappreciated. So he just needs LeBron James to be his
Yeah.
friend.
Someone who the movie has shown us is a great fun person to hang out with.
Yeah, right. He sure knows. He sure understands his own family.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's basically looking for like power and recognition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, traps them in this weird virtual world. And then, yeah, he's like, okay, you got to assemble your own basketball team, and sends him to, quote, the rejects, and sends him all the way down to Toon World, where LeBron is transformed instantly into a cartoon as he enters the world. This is one thing that this movie commits to, which and then later on doesn't, but at the moment they commit to it really well. I really enjoyed the sequences that we're about to see where they're committing to different art styles. I thought that was sweet. I like, because they do a lot of fun things in a sort of a Spider-Verse kind of way, which I can appreciate, you know? It's good.
Yeah.
But anyway, he lands in Toon World. Only what happens here?
There's a big old... Well, he falls down, he gets to do some Toon World shenanigans. Maximilian Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably, like, stoked watching this scene.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. This movie was made for him. He's the billionaire who funded it.
It is. This whole thing has Pegasus written all over it, honestly.
Actually, yeah.
Like complete mad crossover world, like over the top, high budget nonsense.
Yeah, based on a children's game again.
Yeah,
like
classic Pegasus.
Pegasus, producer of Space Jam 2.
We got you. We caught you red-handed.
And then he walks past a sign that says like Toon World population 1, and it goes up to 2.
Yeah.
And it's because left all alone to go mad on Toon World, which is such an interesting, like, it's kind of a perfect use for a character like him. It's Bugs Bunny, just alone. Yeah, it's very kind of dark, new version of him.
It's
Although
amazing.
he's exactly the same. Yeah.
I want to see like the Westworld version of Bugs Bunny slowly going mad in this Toon World prison with like no one here. I wish there was like much more of that. Like I get that he's a cartoon character and is well like probably incapable of like going mad, but because he's loony already, Gareth.
He's been mad for years, Pink Floyd. First mention in 46 minutes.
Got him.
Oh, I do need to quickly say, and we'll get back to the madness of the lonely Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle's plan starts when Money by Pink Floyd starts playing, and he finishes explaining it and enacts it at the very end of Money by Pink Floyd.
Well, that works. That's a good old sync there.
Yeah, and that kind of like vibe, kind of the digital kind of weird time signature stuff did really vibe quite well with like the falling through the internet. So yeah,
that works for me. Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
Anyway, the madness of Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, so Bugs like chases LeBron around Toon World, more zany adventures. I do really like how there's like a freeze frame where their characters are introduced and credited, which is like a classic thing that they would do in Looney Tunes. Like especially like Roadrunner and Coyote, they would do this a lot. And then he's like, "Oh, hey, you're LeBron James." I just like that meta joke. That works for me. And yeah, LeBron's like trying to explain the situation. He's like, "Listen, Bugs Bunny, the computer dude kidnapped my son." It's like, yep, that's the thing that you said to me, Bugs Bunny. And yeah, all the tunes. All the Looney Tunes left Toon World with the promise of like greater glory in the serververse, just like exploring the wide range that Warner Brothers has to offer. I guess they get to like travel wherever they want, or that maybe they were just like dropped off by LG here. Like
that's a good point because some of them don't seem stoked, but others definitely do.
Maybe they were dropped off in different worlds beyond and then like wanted to just like have something different than what they were used to. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they have been cartoon characters for 80 years, so maybe you let them have something fun.
Yeah. But anyway, the only way that we're going to get there is Bugs has a plan to like get off of Toon World, leaving it a desolate waste with no one there. And he like tricks Marvin the Martian to come down with a bit of zaniness. I love Marvin the Martian, by the way. Probably one of my top Looney Tunes. So disappointed he was the referee in the original Space Jam.
Yeah.
And here, he doesn't even get to be on the team either. Like, he's stuck around the whole time. But like, just poor Marvin, so hard done by the whole time. But
at least he gets to do a little more Marvin the Martian-y stuff here.
It's true. He gets to play his character in his role that he loves to do. But yeah, he gets like tricked by Bugs to give them the spaceship basically. They like Grand Theft Auto his spaceship and leave him floating with his own anti-gravity ray, just floating around and angry. Yeah. So on the spaceship, Bugs is like got driving around, heading to pick up the team, and LeBron is like picking and choosing out of the the Warner Brothers universe, all the different characters that he would best want for a basketball team. And his picks are pretty intense. He wants King Kong and the Iron Giant and Superman all on the same team.
Later, he has Trinity written down as well. Trinity from the Matrix.
Yeah, which is fair pick, you know.
And I think that's it. I think he might have Batman written down as well because later he has something else crossed off.
You can't have Batman and Superman on the same team. That's just not going to work.
Unless you tell them each their mother's names.
That's how you do it.
Before every tip-off, you like throw the ball in the air and you're like, your mums have the same names. And then they're allowed to play together.
And they play together, finally.
Yeah.
Amazing. So from here, Bugs has other plans, and he's going to pick up all the members of the Toon Squad across the other Warner Brothers worlds. First stop is Metropolis City, which is where like DC World, quote, which is one side of which is Metropolis for Superman, and the other side is Gotham City for Batman, and they just like exist in codependence, I guess, or it's very weird that they're just two halves of this planet.
Yeah, they're riding a train that goes through. It starts in Metropolis, goes through Gotham, and then underwater for Aquaman, and then through some ice for the Justice League, and then goes back into Metropolis, and then that's the end of the station. So then, like, maybe Metropolis circles around everything, or
maybe
I am just realizing it's a globe, and globes are circular. So
it just circumnavigates the whole globe.
Yeah,
could well be.
It's also the Snowpiercer universe.
Oh no, not that universe.
Yeah, I wonder if that's Warner Brothers.
It's a really ham-fisted metaphor that just gets shoved down your throat on board that train.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really do appreciate the return of the art style here, like dropping in the like DC animated series style, seeing these people again. I've been watching like a fair bit of the original Batman animated series recently, just as a treat to myself, and it's real good. The art style in that series is awesome.
Yeah, I love the blimps in that.
Yeah,
I get like but unfortunately, my main memory of that cartoon was watching it when I had the flu at my nana's house. And like, it was an episode with Scarecrow, and it was really trippy, and it freaked me out so badly.
Oh, no.
Even to hear that, like, even to hear that music is just, it's not fun for me.
No, there's bad memories. Yeah, no. Scarecrow eps are where it's at, though. They are wild.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Revisiting them, they're pretty fun. But yeah, so yeah, they pick up Daffy Duck and Porky Pig here, who are like trying to make their own like way here. Daffy Duck's trying to be the next superhero and gain recognition, but of course he can't because he's Daffy Duck, and he's doing it all wrong because that's what he does. Anyway, yeah, they get picked up and like booted out by all the DC superheroes, which is pretty fun. From here, though, we get like a montage of the other universes on display and picking up other members of the Toon Squad.
So up to here, it's all made sense. Up to here, it's been fine. Like, go into a cartoon world, maybe drop a little hint of like Game of Thrones world. Fine.
Yeah. Totally.
We immediately cut to, and this is when my eyebrows shot up.
Yeah.
Like, if you are worried your eyebrows won't meet your hairline, watch this movie, and your eyebrows, no matter how far back your hairline's receded, your eyebrows are going to reach it.
They're going to match.
Buck wild. Because where do they go, James?
We go to the desert wastes first, don't we? Of Mad Max Fury Road. Literal shots from the movie that have been like just drawn over with cartoon characters. We've got the Roadrunner and Coyote here. Just the Roadrunner running along amongst the war boys, and Coyote dressed as a war boy spray paints his own mouth and then like jumps onto another car trying to catch the Roadrunner. Incredible. He
holds a sign up. Oh, sorry.
My jaw hit the floor.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I was like, what the this movie has gone fully off the rails. And I could not believe it. From here, it takes an even harder turn. I do need to point out, because this one's so nuts that we're going to need to... We've got to clear all of the crumbs of Mad Max off the table before we can even get to this next one. This next one broke me. Yeah. Like, my eyebrows flew off and hit the person behind me. And some say it's still there. Yeah.
I've got to say, he holds up his little sign that says "Witness me" and leaves, and that's exactly when Pink Floyd sing "See You on the Dark Side of the Moon."
Hell yeah!
Which is a better sync than we got the whole time we covered Mad Max Fury Road on this podcast.
So true. Oh my god.
It out Mad Maxed Mad Max.
What a disgrace. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
Another thing that I do really appreciate about this is that every world that they go to, Bugs and LeBron also change outfit and try and match. So we get like LeBron James dressed as if he was in Mad Max for this sequence, which is just something that I love to see. It's just very good for me. But we aren't done yet. From here, in a shocking twist, we go to Austin Powers' Gareth.
Yeah, Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me,
Specifically, we're replacing Mini-Me as Elmer Fudd. And I wanted to close my book and walk out of the cinema.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about Fudd, Gareth.
I know.
Oh my god.
I
could not believe it.
Who is this for? Out of all the Warner Brothers properties you could have put, like, in your movie. Like, it's clear they didn't get many... Maybe they didn't get a good nod from Harry Potter. Like, they could only kind of reference it a little.
Yeah.
And maybe they were hoping for more of that. But, like, I don't know. I've Googled Warner Bros. Movies and Google Images, and they seem to have covered everything these DeviantArt users I've got as their favorite Warner Brothers movies. But...
Amazing.
That was shocking.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. You go from that into, I believe, the next one. Like, the emotional whiplash from this movie to the next movie. Like, putting these two things next to each other is sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Because from here, we go to fucking Casablanca. Which is... What? When I recognized Casablanca on screen and saw Yosemite Sam as the character they chose to be at the bar in Casablanca, unreal. I felt like I was sick. I felt like my eyes were betraying me in the cinema.
Yeah. Would it shock you that this is the second time the Looney Tunes have parodied Casablanca?
I believe that they would parody Casablanca, absolutely.
Yeah.
But to insert themselves over top of the footage of Casablanca, like a famous film, like it's wild.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
The other Casablanca you'd think would have come out when Casablanca came out and the Looney Tunes were around. Nah, Carrot Blanca came out in 1995.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Amazing. Shortly before Space Jam.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I can't believe it. So yeah, we have
and then
that.
You've adjusted your neck from the whiplash when the very next property that's involved...
It's... What's next? I can't remember. We've got...
It's Rick and Morty show up in this fucking film.
Yeah, they do.
To do, like, just a clean version of their, like, shtick.
Yeah. Ostensibly a film for kids, having Rick and Morty show up felt wrong. I was like, maybe don't have people... Maybe don't have kids Google Rick and Morty. Like,
that's my thing as well, is like... Especially because it's kind of widely known that Rick and Morty started off as a cartoon where the two characters have sex with each other. Because the kids are going to watch and see these scenes from Casablanca and Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, oh, no, okay, that's grown-up stuff. That's live action. That's not for me. And then they're going to see these cartoon characters.
And we're like, who are these guys? They've got their own ship.
I've seen them on my, like, older cousin's backpack. I'm going to definitely look them up on the iPad.
Yeah. I felt icky about that as well. It's not the biggest sin that this movie commits, so I don't know. Like, anyway, we've got we get like the Matrix here with the granny from Sylvester and Tweety Bird and Speedy Gonzales, the little mouse.
Yeah.
Who's a stereotype here, just like
doing
at
least he is voiced by a Latino actor in this one.
Okay.
He's voiced by one of the guys from Magic Mike, one of our friends.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. The one who's a comedian.
Fluffy?
Really... Yeah, exactly. He's voiced by Fluffy, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm going to feel real bad if I'm got that wrong.
Gabriel Iglesias, I think is his name. Iglesias, yeah. Anyway, Yeah, so they get picked up here in the Matrix world. Like Granny does the Trinity kick where she jumps in the air and then the camera spins around. Classic stuff. But yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of a weird one. It is the intro to the Matrix. So I guess I'm okay with it. He also does Speedy does the like lean back thing, but doesn't really commit to it in the
Yeah.
same way. Like they try and do the bullet time thing where he's like balanced on top of like the Zimmer frame or the desk or something, and just dodging bullets, but that didn't really land because it's not really a shot
No.
for shot thing. But anyway, it's fine. It's like not the most iconic scene from The Matrix, but it is one
No.
of them, so I'm okay
They
with
clearly
it.
just chucked the Matrix on real quick and were like, okay, so
Yeah.
we got it. And then,
Use this bit that's in the first like 3 minutes. It'll
Yeah.
be fine. At least it's not the like Zion sequence. So Granny's just out there vibing, sweating it up. Like,
Yeah.
don't want that.
What they should have done is like a scene where Neo goes to see the Oracle and it's Granny. Like, I guess no kid.
that
I mean,
would've
kids don't
worked
care
so-
anyway.
That would have worked so much better. Oh my
Right?
god. That would have made so much more sense. Not the most like dynamic scene from The Matrix, but like definitely
No.
one that makes a lot more sense character-wise. Oh my god.
Well, that scene ends with, I've recently watched Matrix Reloaded, by the way. Pretty
Okay.
much only up to the car chase with the twins. And then I was like, okay, this movie's not good.
Fair enough.
But that scene does follow like a bunch of Agent Smiths show up, and there's a big like iconic fight. So they could have had a bit of that,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could like. I can't believe we're saying like what Space Jam 2 could have been, but we're still
Yeah.
keeping it in its like insane rules.
It's still all this stuff happens over like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's all like thrown in your face all at once, and you're like, oh no, what have they done? um, yeah, it really hurt. It hurt doing this. It was like watching like in New Zealand we have this thing called Sky Movies, and they like put a promo together of like all the different movies cut together, and they try and try and get like a semblance of the characters saying things in the like from quotes from the movie, trying to get them to like talk about the great deal that Sky Movies has or something like that. They're trying to like
Yeah.
sequence it like that. It feels wrong that like that they're just cutting together these disparate things that should never come together, and that's exactly what this felt like to me. It felt like an ad spot for Sky Movies. Oh god. But yeah, we aren't done. We've got the last one, which honestly, reasonably tastefully done, is Wonder Woman, specifically.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984.
This was like the most Spider-Verse-y one.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so Lola Bunny is here on Wonder Woman world, I guess, and she's trying to join the Amazons with like passing some kind of trial. She's taken to her new world quite well, and yeah, she like has to pass this like trial to get in, and then Bugs and LeBron are desperately trying to pick her up in the background, and getting into scrapes. And this is done really well, as if it were like out of a comic book. It reminds me a lot. It reminds me a lot of Spider-Verse in that it's got like the titles on screen, and we're jumping between frames a lot, which I found really good.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get right in a like in a movie setting, like the panels of a comic book. It can like be quite jarring, I think. But they really like they played with the space of the frame quite well. I was actually pretty impressed with this. This is like the one artful thing that the movie does.
Yeah, this is the one scene that the animators were like, we'll put this on the show reel. The rest they can just have.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, she like gets convinced to help when she finds out it's about saving LeBron's son. And then yeah, she's on board. Voiced by Zendaya in this movie as well.
Apparently, there's a rumor that the original Lola Bunny actor actually did record all her lines and was replaced. But I don't know what to say about that. I think Zendaya is one of the great, completely like wasted actors. Like I've I haven't seen what's her show, Euphoria, but everything I've seen her in, I'm like, you're amazing, but all you get to do in this thing is be snarky or like
Yeah.
be in Malcolm and Marie. So like, yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't know if Space Jam is another kind of thing for her, but yeah, I was happy.
Zendaya will have her time in the sun, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Still
that's
to
for sure.
come. She's but a youth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've assembled the team. We've also got like this big red fluffy guy who I don't remember from the Looney Tunes. Who is
Oh, Goshammer.
Okay, I've never heard of that one, and
It's yeah.
I didn't
It's so weird
recognize
because he is Bugs Bunny acts like he's like one of the best friends and has to be put together in the like back in the team. He is in the first Space Jam. He is driving a car, and that's all he does.
Okay.
He drives a car in the background of shot.
Wow.
But they were like, we got to get the big red guy back for this team.
I mean, fair. It's kind of like he was underappreciated like Marvin in a similar way, so I can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's just that I have no affinity for him at all. So you know.
He's fun to draw.
That's
I'll give you that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we cut from here back to LG and Dom, who are hanging out and playing Dom's game, and like just shooting the shit. And LG's trying to like win him over, being on side. He's like, "Yeah, you're like, this is awesome. You've got a great game, and like, your dad like doesn't seem to appreciate that, and I don't know what's up with that. That's really weird, man." Trying to like win him away from his own father, pretty messed up. As part of making this app, we find out, or this game, we find out that Dom interacted with like various NBA stars and like scanned their bodies and styles, like filmed them with an app that he developed, and then put them in the game based on their like their skills and power and stuff. And put in like special specifications for each of the players that he scanned. Cool and ridiculous technology. Like,
Heck yeah.
even like the movie is aware of how insane this is, because like the algorithms like, so you've got this thing that can scan people and put them in the game, like digital representations of those people. Well, how very interesting.
Yeah.
And he also just finished talking about like, he's like, "Man, how do you know so much about me?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been watching you, man. I can, like, any electronic device, anywhere, I can see through that." We live in the technological age where your phone is constantly listening to everything that you say. And by merely mentioning Uddies or something like that on my podcast, you're going to get ads for Uddies now. Just because I've said this and you're listening to it. Sorry, listener, non-spawn. But this is a test, okay? If you get ads for Uddies, it's Sing Floyd's fault, and you can send us that your complaints via email. But
and please CC in Uddies so they know that we're doing an effective sponsorship for them.
Yeah, please do.
The corporate giant evil overlords of Uddy.
Yeah, the Uddy lords.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's so wild that the movie's talking about this. Like, isn't that fucked up that like surveillance is so rampant, and like you are constantly being watched by corporations, and we've like market tested this movie to be perfectly for you. It's so wild that like it's fully not aware of how fucked that is.
Yeah. And coming from like amazing dramatic actor Don Cheadle as well.
Yeah. So good. Don is loving being in this film.
Oh my god, yeah.
He is.
If you enjoyed sorry.
I'm just saying that like he is hamming it up to like the nth degree. And, like, is loving being the villain, for one, like, in this, like, silly kids movie. But he's just, like, he's just having a great time. And he's a joy to watch doing that stuff.
Oh my god, he's giving you permission to have fun in the cinema. Like, if it was anyone else, like, you wouldn't be able to. It's like he's the first one on the dance floor, you know? there's like a stupid
definitely.
song playing, a song a song you know is bad for the world, but because Don Cheadle's dancing, you're gonna dance too. And yeah, we thank him. He brings, jumping ahead a bit, he brings all the syncs. Like, right now we're listening to Any Color You Like, and then he does like a little, no, we're not. We're listening to On the Run. He does a little bleepy bloopy chat with Pete, like he speaks Pete's language. And because we can hear that and we can hear Pink Floyd, it sounds beautiful together. He's just adding a new synthesizer line to Pink Floyd's song.
He's speaking
the man
language.
is putting in work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good. So Pete goes off to like scan this app and add it to the code for a later part of the plan to be revealed. Shout outs to Pete. I like Pete as a presence. I don't understand why he's in the film. I guess maybe like just for kids, so that like they don't always have to be looking at Don Cheadle. Like, and they're like, so wait, this guy's the internet? And there's like, yeah, he's got this like zany little friend. That's how you know. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise, it's just
there's
two men talking to each other.
There's no cute characters in this. Like, the Looney Tunes all have to kind of be... The Looney Tunes are all, like I said, 80-year-old adults.
Yeah.
And then, LeBron James and, like, Dom's kind of your kid audience surrogate.
Yeah.
So you need, like, your little friend there for the kids. Like, we talked about how Shrek doesn't have it. And I guess don't take that example because Shrek obviously made a whole bunch of money. But, they still got to add them.
Yeah. You gotta have that. You gotta have that in there for the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids. It's Space Jam 2. It's for the kids.
Yeah. This movie that's just for us and the lads on a Friday night.
Yeah.
It's got one thing for the kids.
It's got one thing for the kids. It's got a lot of, like, Casablanca and other weird shit going on, but we're gonna get there. Oh my god. So from here, we cut from the internet world to the real world, where the friend of LeBron James is desperately trying to look for him and is like freaking out, having lost both him and his son here at Warner Brothers Studios, and is talking to this guy, this security guard guy, who is my favorite character in the whole film.
Oh, by far, yeah.
I was laughing a lot at this guy's dialogue because he knows exactly what film he's in, and he is having a great time as well. Just like he's like a character from like Clerks that's just found his way into this movie or something. It was very good.
Yeah.
Oh, just this angry security guard man who cannot believe that this guy's lost LeBron James. I love that his line where he's like, "You better find him. He's on my fantasy league."
Yeah.
Like, that's a good bit. Oh man. But yeah. So we go from here, like, Dom, Algae Rhythm's hanging out with Dom again, and getting. He's like, "Man, for your dad to respect you, you're gonna play him in basketball, and you're gonna beat him at his own game, in a game that you built. He's gonna play his dad in the virtual world and beat him." And he's sending out all these invites to everyone on their phones, and it's father versus son, like. With Dom's face and LeBron's face facing off like a wrestling match. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine getting that on your phone. You'd be tuning in absolutely. And so Algae Rhythm gives Dom access to his like stats, and he can change all his abilities and stuff. So he like puts himself up to 75%. He's like, "Come on, man. What are we doing here? Why are we playing around? Like, why not go all the way to 100? Gee, of course. Please do that."
Is this when we get the terrifying line of "dads only respect power"?
Yes. Yeah, I've written that in my notes. Dads only understand power.
That's what
is attributed that to Don Cheadle. Amazing. And then he like basically turns him into like RoboCop. Like he like turns him into the ultimate basketballer. and yeah, maxes out all his stats. And then he like is like, okay, we've got to build this team as well. And then Dom's like, well, I can make some adjustments. And he's got the scans of the NBA players that he took and various animals. And so he makes like a snake person, and we'll get there. They haven't been introduced yet, but like he's gonna combine animals and other things and NBA players. Anyway, so it's time for the game. We go down to the Looney Tune world, and they're like practicing. They're doing the final steps, and Bugs Bunny is like having fun out there because that worked well for them last time.
Yeah.
But LeBron's like, no, on the court out here, it's work. He makes the same mistake again that he did with his son. So he ain't had his lesson yet. And so he's like, so no loony behavior out on the courts, otherwise we aren't going to win, and it's going to be awful. Do as I say out on the court, basically. And then Algae Rhythm appears. He like lays down this digital arena like for them to play basketball in. And then he summons a crowd of all the Warner Brothers characters that we hadn't seen before coming in a terrifying display. This reminds me a lot of that movie that came out that also sucked, the Spielberg movie of adaptation.
Ready Player One?
That's the one. Yes.
Nah, James. So I told you I watched Space Jam New Legacy twice. I saw it without syncing and without syncing then with syncing. In the middle, I checked out Ready Player One for the first time.
Wow. How was that, Gareth?
I will put this movie ahead of Ready Player One, and almost entirely for the way it uses other intellectual property to show that Warner Bros. Owns it.
Yeah.
Because, like, this movie, it's kind of like you could look at it, maybe there's parody. There's, what if the classic Wile E. Coyote was in this adult movie? And, like, the Lego movie, which kicked this all off.
Yeah.
Also, like, at least that's saying, like, the fun of playing with Lego and, like, combining these worlds as a kid. Ready Player One references things entirely just to... It's in
just
plot.
To do that.
Yeah, it's in plot that it's just to show off that this guy has seen movies. Like, the currency 100%. Of that kind of thing. It's such a bummer.
It's awful. Also, like, fun fact, the book is exactly the same. The book that it's based off is it throws out references like candy and is like treats that as being cool, which I'm pretty sure is the sentiments of the author. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, no, look how much of this cool 80s shit that I know. Wouldn't it be cool if that was what made you popular? Just knowing all this useless stuff. Oh, it's such a bad vibe. I took that book on holiday, and it was the only thing I had to read, and I like finished the book, but fuck, I hated it. So
I saw it in a bookshop today, and I was like, I bet I could read it really quickly. Should I give it a shot? And
it's not like it's as bad as the film. So that's the glowing recommendation I have for Ready Player One. Sorry if you like that film, listeners, or like the book, but I super do not, and I'm not gonna shy away from it. But yeah,
although our boy the Glaive from Krull shows up in Ready Player One, and that made me happy.
Okay, that's a fairly specific reference. Yeah.
I guess it did that reference to try to make me happy. So more than I'm happy that they chose that as a reference, more than I'm happy to see a thing that's been referenced, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like our podcast is sometimes on the knife's edge of becoming a Ready Player One, and that's not what I want at all.
No.
It's just such a bad feeling.
Yeah, I feel like, because the book Ready Player One came out in like 2011, right?
Yeah. I love that we're just talking about this seriously now.
So, and then the movie comes out like 2018, 2019. The world did at least move on from that. I feel like...
Yeah.
I've got a whole thing. I feel like the Bush presidency
Wow.
was when reference humor really took off.
Yeah.
Reference humor, because you could then...
Like early
the idea
internet.
Yes, exactly. Early internet, it was easier to learn what these are references to. But there was still the kind of, I guess, gatekeeping of like, oh, I'm someone who's heard of this. And it was a way, I think a lot of Americans probably felt like there wasn't, like they couldn't relate to a lot of America because the America re-elects George Bush. So they kind of pushed themselves apart and be like, I'm cool. I've seen Mad Max. I've seen Krull.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like them. And then kind of like the Obama presidency kind of brings it back and kind of, people briefly did feel like America was more united and that kind of stuff went away. And then I think it's also maybe where meta humor kind of grew was a little more like in the Obama era. It was like you were kind of had a feeling like, well, at least, I'm looking above what's happening. So again, it was more drawing a line, but it was in a different weird way. So at least I feel like the reference junkies are less in control now. And probably it's also as Gen X kind of gives way to the millennials. Because Gen X is very reference heavy.
Yeah.
That's Ready Player One.
There we go. No, that's a great take, honestly. Yeah, like people going like, "Oh, I've seen Krull, isn't that cool?" Like you tell that to any millennial, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. It always would bug me when I would see like a Gen X open mic comedian make a reference. And they go like, oh, you millennials wouldn't get it. And it's like, we're in a position, the world's in a position now where any reference is at the touch of a fingertip. There's no power in a reference anymore.
No.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Space Jam didn't get that memo.
Yeah, they did not get that memo because there's every reference under the sun here. They've all run over from Ready Player One and they're ready to be in this movie and watch the basketball game. It's like a brief intermission aside. They're all coming and watching this because we've got like so many cameos and so many like people dressed up in costume to match old cinema. Highlights.
That's the biggest bummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
There are people like dressed up. There's like the full like Clockwork Orange cast courtside.
Yeah.
Which
gross. That movie was like the first X-rated film. Like,
yeah. I was like, are
here.
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like seeing that. I was like, they're like right in front of the bloody Iron Giant. I'm like, I was floored. It's just a gross display, a menagerie of awful things.
Pennywise from It is like in a lot of shots. The Mask is in a lot of shots.
Yeah,
like the Mask, fine, but it's also not so
really
sad because they didn't get any of the actors. So you've got a lookalike of Jim Carrey, a lookalike of Danny DeVito as the Penguin. Like,
it's just like all cosplay. It's a very weird feeling. It's like a theme park. It's like you've gone to Warner Brothers Movie Land and you've got people dressed as Pennywise and the Mask walking around you. Like,
which they wouldn't do in their theme parks.
Yeah, right? You've got the full cast of Clockwork Orange strapping you to a chair. Like, maybe don't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea to have it in your kids' film. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like, at like a costume shop when they don't have the rights to the real thing. So they're like, it's Italian plumber toy. It's evil Birdman instead of the Penguin. It's green wacky friend instead of the Mask. It's got that feeling all over it. It's very clear that this film wanted, and we touched on it with Sarah Silverman, this film wanted a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
Couldn't get these cameos.
Just didn't get them.
Yeah, and so just tried to get the same emotional feeling of like a cameo by just having a lookalike.
Yeah.
It's weird.
If that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know about where Warner Brothers is at as a studio and what they were thinking that this movie would be, like, it's just like, it sums itself up, really. Like,
and especially
it tells the story better than the movie does.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially that this is the third time they've done it. They did Lego Movie, they did Ready Player One. They're trying it again.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
we're dealing with that for like the rest of the movie. That there's this
Yeah.
weird menagerie of that, and also, Algie reveals that he's kidnapped like 50,000 random people from across the globe. Or anyone that follows LeBron James on Twitter or Instagram has been sucked into this virtual world and will remain here, trapped here, unless they win the basketball game. So, okay, just for being fans of LeBron, you're now accessories to this, which sucks. Poor guy. Anyway, he's confident he's going to win.
It's also at this point where he like runs a laser across our friends the Looney Tunes and turns them, the whole movie they've been 2D beloved Space Jam characters, turns them into that like kind of gross 3D that most of these films get rebooted into.
Yeah.
And I will give the movie so much credit for it finds a way to have its cake and eat it too, because the Looney Tunes hate that they're turned 3D.
Yeah.
Like, in character, this is their main motivation for revenge.
Hell yeah. I really appreciated that as well. They're like, this sucks. Like, Bugs, like, says, like, now it's war. Like, he declares war against them for this absolute affront to their being. Because, it's great. Daffy Duck's into it.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Well, he's the one who kissed the Warner Brothers logo on his own butt in the previous film, so, you know.
Yeah,
he's all about it.
Yeah, I guess he's a shill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugs
I
has
saw
standards.
so many adults on Twitter getting mad that the Looney Tunes were going to be in 3D, only to have their point justified by this movie. It's so strange.
It's bizarre. Like, the fact that they fucking hate it is so funny. And the other stake change is that LG reveals that if the Looney Tunes don't win, if the Toon Squad don't win, then the Looney Tunes will be erased. They'll be deleted. They won't be deleted from cultural canon, though. That's for damn sure. I feel like the DeviantArts of the world will put out their Bugs Bunnies, and it will be fine. He'll live on. It's so interesting. Earlier when LeBron was chasing Bugs around Toon World, he said, "I basically can't be killed. Like, there's no like damage that can do to me." And I think that's like a direct reference to him being like a cultural icon, right? In a sort of American Gods kind of way. You know?
Oh.
Where, like, he is, as long as people believe in Bugs Bunny, he exists, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of thing.
Like in the Land of the Dead, how you can't, like, you only die if people stop remembering you. That's when you finally actually pass on, or, like, disappear. Yeah. Oh, I love that read. Sense. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. It adds on to the like second level of hell or whatever we had, the Greek pantheon of hell that the Looney Tunes operated in Space Jam 1. We've moved on from that. Anyway, so he's we've changed up the game here, and the final edition here is two legitimate NBA commentators sucked in here for the duration of the film, and are having a great time.
Well,
being
one.
Here.
Do you know who the other one was?
No.
So we've got old a guy I tried to keep the name up of, but I've lost it.
We've got Ernie Johnson Jr.
Yeah, and then Lil Rel from Get Out and the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. He's here too, just having a good time.
Yeah.
But providing color commentary over the Space Jam, which is something that was missing from the previous one.
Right. We had the mice doing it, but they weren't as fun.
Well,
as
they were sort of just like master of ceremonies. They weren't really commenting on plays or anything. We don't get running commentary like we do in this movie, which I enjoyed. It's like one of my favorite parts of basketball is the commentary over top.
Yeah, and it's like a comedy rule that if you're going outlandish, having someone react to it and be actually say like, "Oh, that's
Yeah,
weird," is actually a really good way to let the audience know
yeah,
like
it's
where
okay to
they're at
laugh.
and like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
good on this movie for that. And I
yeah.
also need to give out one more of my famous Gareth good on yous to this movie. Ernie Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
and Sarah Silverman are the only two live action speaking roles that aren't played by people of color. Like everyone
Whoa,
else in this massive Hollywood film is like African American, or we've got like Stephen
that's
Yen,
pretty
or like
cool.
yeah, it was made me so happy, like that kind of side of it.
Nice. That's one
Yeah,
thing that Space Jam 2 does right. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's not all bad. It's not all
no,
a horrific menagerie and assault on the senses. Um,
yeah.
but it's also like a good film in some respects. Um, okay. But yeah,
Anyway,
commentators are here. We're ready to get into it. The game gets started over Money's second play. We've got the introduction of the Goon Squad, which is the alternate version of the Monstars, I guess. Here, this is the NBA stars crossed with animals and elements. We've got like a guy who's Wet Fire, which I want to shout out because it's like one of the worst names. Like I feel like you could have workshopped it.
yeah,
They even the commentators comment on it. It's like, oh, I see, because he's wet, but he's also fire. I get it,
yeah,
and it's like, wow, okay. They've got other members here. We've got like a snake lady. We've got
yeah.
a spider lady. We got a
Birdman.
birdman. Later on, we're gonna get like time controlling robot man, which
Yeah,
is seems OP, but anyway.
yeah,
Uh, and yeah, like these guys are like being introduced, the bad guy team, and everyone is cheering like on both sides. And I'm like, this crowd will cheer for literally anything.
oh,
Um,
that's my other thing about this crowd is you've hired like the cheapest day player extras to
yeah,
play like the Mask and the Penguin.
yeah,
The only two characters I remember, the Droogs from Clockwork Orange.
yeah,
All
yeah,
they
yeah,
do the whole film is just do the same little dance over and over
yeah.
again, like a half cheer, half dance. Like, whoa, yeah. Which good on them because
Well,
it must have been a long day.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of these extras are just like being spliced together into this horrific crowd shot. They're all being filmed like
Oh,
in probably groups of like five on a green
yeah,
screen, and then being put together, layered over top of each other painstakingly by a group of editors. Um, but yeah, it would be
that's such a good
so they're
point.
not reacting to anything at all. They're just like having to pretend to be excited about seeing this bizarre Space Jam play out.
Yeah,
But
which
having to,
would have been fine. Sorry, it would have been fine if they weren't like if they were just normal.
oh,
If instead the movie had just gone like, oh, he sucked in all the people from the Earth to watch this. If they were just normal people, it would be fine. But because it's again the Mask and his bright
yeah.
yellow and green, you can't not look at him.
Exactly. Like whenever these people are on screen, and we've got like we're trying to get plot happening with algorithm and Dom and stuff, I'm only looking at the extra. So I'm
Yeah,
like just looking at them badly react to whatever's happening on screen, and like
yeah.
it's just really pulled me out of it in such a weird way. Anyway, the Goon Squad are here, and game is on. It's game time.
Mm.
Uh, they start playing, and there's the rules have changed because this is Dom's game, which is called Dom Ball. I believe I
Yeah,
haven't mentioned that. Maybe
yeah.
work on a better name, but I don't know. It's not.
That's
It's
why he
in
was going to
beta.
game camp. Yeah,
Yeah, it's in beta still, so it's fine. Like here's time to change it. But yeah, the Goon Squad start running away with it because they understand the rules better. There's power ups. There's extra points for stylish play
mm.
and crazy moves, and yeah, of course, this is not the basketball that LeBron is used to. He's having to um, just his fundamentals are not coming into play, and so he's in big trouble. We basically they're getting like run around and the Looney Tunes aren't doing any of their zany stuff, so because they're
Yeah.
just trying to play good, fair basketball, and they're just getting absolutely demolished. We go basically all the way to like halftime. Uh, we don't. We get like the first quarter, and then they make a switch where they bring on this Chronos guy, who is like a robot man, who has control of time with a little thing on his wrist,
Yeah.
and they basically just do the scene in like X-Men Days of Future Past, where they just recreate that, where the guy's like running around with everyone else in slow motion. With he has control of time or experiences time at a different rate or whatever. They just try and recreate that, and it's like, okay, I've
Yeah.
seen it before, guys. I do really like that in the bottom corner to signify the time difference. We get like his little watch appear, and it just says Dame Time around it, which I believe is the name of the like basketballer that's been like adjusted here or added to the
Yeah.
Goon Squad. But it's still really weird seeing that.
Yeah.
It felt very like Japanese game show where there's a thing on screen which I don't understand what it means, but it's there for the
Yeah.
whole show. But yeah, we get a timeout, and then from here we're looking at the score, and it's halftime, and it's like 1,037 to 38 or something like that in the Goon Squad's favor.
Oh,
So
it's I believe it's 1,039 points, which I only remembered because that's the number on the first Green Day album. Like, it's called 1,039 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours.
wow.
And I bet that's intentional, because Green Day are signed to Reprise, which is a Warner Brothers record label.
Wow, there you go. So they just
Yeah.
own that. That's, oh my God.
Weird,
Jesus. Very weird. Yeah, so the tunes are all upset. They're ready to like be erased forever here in the locker room. There's a weird bit where there's like, oh, I found him. I found Michael Jordan.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm
And-
sorry for talking about that number. This is the greatest scene in the whole movie.
I got angry about this. They were like, so we found Michael Jordan, and then this silhouetted guy emerges from the like round. He's wrapped in light and smoke, and he comes in, and it's Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
Yes.
Which is it's a good bit, but like it's just it
Who's
goes
it
on
for?
too long.
Kids don't care about Michael
No.
B. Or the kids. Do kids know him? And then he references Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
No kid cares about.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
He hangs around for like a while trying to like convince the Toon Squad, like, yeah, you guys can do it. I don't really know why I'm here in the movie, but I am. It feels very strange, but anyway.
Yeah. It was like, we talked about the only scene the kids laughed in. This was the only scene me, the 29-year-old man, sitting alone, laughed in.
Oh man, okay. That's
Yeah,
that's fair. I laughed
I
all
got
the
a
way
big,
through
loud giggle.
I laughed all the way through the security guard bit specifically.
Oh, true, yeah,
I
he was
really
great.
loved that. But yeah, they get the pep talk here from LeBron. He's like finally figured it out. He's like, oh, it's all about having fun and like being yourself. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I didn't do with my son. I was like, he finally gets the message that the movie's been like hitting him over the head with this whole
Yeah.
time. And so, yeah, they like go out there for the second half, and yeah, the Looney Tunes start doing their loony stuff. All the classic
Yeah.
gags are being rolled out in full CGI glory, which is not as enjoyable as the 2D would have been, but it's fine. We've got another weird bit where they have a rap battle midway through the second half here.
Yeah,
with-
so this movie won me back with, Michael B. Jordan, and then the betrayal. And this is in between Pink Floyd plays, so it was complete silence.
Absolute
so I had to give it
silence.
full attention.
yeah.
Because Pink Floyd love music and pigs, so fair enough
Yeah.
for the butt out for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They want this to have full airtime. if at
Yeah.
all possible.
It's Porky Pig rapping over like a sound-alike Notorious B.I.G. beat.
Yeah.
The Looney Tunes are all dressed with what these like the filmmakers think is cool hip hop clothes.
Oh my god, yeah.
They do a dance.
It sucks.
Yeah.
He drops like a diss track on LG Rhythm,
Yeah.
which is like it's not good or funny, you know.
Yeah.
And it goes on for a long time, so it's like the kind of thing that a boardroom is like, yeah, we'll put this in, and it'll be like, oh man, that's real crazy that the Looney Tunes are doing a rap battle. How wild to have in our movie. And they were just like, yeah, let's put it in. And then like no one really worked on it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't land. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
I
Didn't
wonder-
enjoy Porky Pig's rap. I wish that he'd done the fucking stutter thing that he always does. He completely drops that and does a different voice. If he was rapping but in the style of Porky Pig, I would have been so
That'd be
impressed.
awesome. Yeah.
It'd been amazing. Just like doing the like, because he does the Porky Pig's whole shtick is that like he stumbles and stutters over words and then says something that isn't quite like it's a different version of saying the same thing. That's his vocal technique or whatever. That's his classic way of speaking. And if you did that with a rap verse where you like, if you could put it together what he's rapping about and it doesn't rhyme at all, but you could like put it back together, you could reassemble it.
Yeah.
That would have been so clever. Like, but no, we don't get that.
Or the opposite, where like, because this is like whoever voices Porky Pig is just doing a rap in this.
Yeah.
And like, you know, doing their best to rap while trying to keep the voice a little bit. Go the complete opposite.
yeah.
Have like Lil Wayne or Chance the Rapper actually just record a new verse. And
real
like, his
rap.
voice just completely changes. Like, I'd love it if Rick Ross was Porky Pig's rap voice.
I would love that as well.
Yeah.
That's that would have been amazing. Just Porky Pig yelling about Ciroc.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Yeah, so that happens. They get like a bunch of extra points for that because, of course.
Yeah.
And then
I do need to say at this point, and he's going to come up later. So I'm sitting there alone. I've got my headphones in. It's this very cringe-worthy moment of this movie. I'm like questioning everything about what I'm doing.
Sure.
And then weirdly, I've got two empty seats next to me. A father and son come and sit in those seats during this scene.
Whoa.
I have to consider everything. I was wondering if they were going to turn to me and be like, "You there, man in your 20s, what is rap?" It was like so strange, and it put me really like in my head. So if I've missed any syncs in the next couple songs, I apologize.
It's because you're dealing with these new challenges.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's
but yeah,
wonderful.
remember them because they're going to come back a little later.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Yeah, so we've got a couple other like fun zany Looney Tunes things that happen. I really like Taz doing the court twist. I think that's really clever. I really enjoyed that as a bit. He like spins to the degree where he just rotates the whole planet, and instead of it going the basketball going into one hoop, it goes into the other one, and I think that's really clever. We've got what happens as well. We've got Granny like taking on the time guy. With like just fighting him old school style or something. I don't know.
She does a Matrix thing again, but makes him age.
Yeah. It like rapidly ages him when he's got a big beard and stuff. I'm like, okay, I guess. There's a bit where Wile E. Coyote sets up this machine that duplicates basketballs and puts a bunch of seed for the Roadrunner to peck at and eat, so that it hits the button a million times and launches basketballs into the hoop over and over again. But he gets sucked into it, and then it starts shooting coyotes, copies of Wile E. Coyote into the basketball hoop as well. And I like that the scoreboard updates to like 1,000 something points and 64 coyotes. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that like extra layer. But yeah, The
I
algorithm
liked
starts...
the coyote in this movie. I'm gonna say
He was good.
I mean, I always liked him, but yeah,
He got a lot of quite a lot of play, quite a lot of jokes in there.
yeah.
And yeah, I was into it. He was good. A highlight for sure. Sort of not even the big red guy gets a look in. He sucks up the water fire character, just gets
Yeah.
absorbed into his body because he's a
Which,
big
yeah,
fluffy man.
luckily, we knew this guy could turn into fire, so luckily that didn't switch out. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
That wouldn't be
And
ideal.
even Foghorn Leghorn's in this movie way more than he was in the other one, and I love that southern bird.
Yeah, get him involved. That big
Yeah,
boy.
why not?
He always reminds me of the chicken lawyer from Futurama.
Yeah.
They got very similar energy.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, so we have a bunch of stuff, and they actually pull ahead. The tunes
Yes.
pull ahead once we get the end of the third quarter, and yeah, algorithm calls the time for that, and he's pissed off, yelling at the goon squad, yelling at Dom, he's you failed. You're how's your dad gonna deal with this? And eventually Dom gets convinced to switch teams, which he's allowed to do. He just joins the Toon Squad here in the third, which I really like.
Yeah.
What have we got now? I'm on my last page of notes here. I'm trying to desperately decipher them. Yeah, so we get into the fourth, and we get the final play here. It's Dom and LeBron out on the court, facing off against one another. And this is when instead... Oh, sorry, I missed a bit. Instead of Dom playing for the Goon Squad, algorithm puts himself in, and is basically cheating at this point, right? Oh no, I've skipped everything. He hasn't switched sides yet. They have a heartfelt moment together.
Yes.
Here on the court.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So this heartfelt moment, LeBron learns that you can't force your kids to like the things that you like.
Yeah.
Which is very, very rich for a movie which is going to be entirely dads in their 30s bringing their kids to see their favorite movie.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wild.
Again, if this movie was smarter, it would have known that. But it was just, so strange. And speaking of dads and sons learning a valuable lesson...
Please.
It's during this scene that the dad and his son... This is maybe 12 minutes since the rap.
Yeah.
The dad leans over to me and goes, "Excuse me," and I have to take my headphones out, which is very embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "When did this movie start?" And I was like, "What?" I guess we're an hour 20 in. I mean, I'm up to the end of On the Run by Pink Floyd, if that helps. I didn't... and
I love that you
"What?"
had an accurate rating of you would know almost definitely down to the time, the perfect amount of time based on Pink Floyd playthroughs. The length that
we're
you've been
100
in
minutes
cinema.
in, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, not quite an hour 20, but then he shows me his ticket, and we both stare at it for ages, and he gets out his phone and lights up the ticket.
Oh no.
And then we realize this guy and his son are in the wrong cinema.
Oh no.
They meant to see Space Jam in Cinema 8, and it was supposed to start 15 minutes ago.
No.
So he's been sitting there so confused. His son's so confused.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. If you thought this movie was a confusing mess, if you'd seen the whole of it, think about these guys.
Yeah, they just walked in here at the most confusing part. Fucking hell. Oh, I really feel for them. What did they do? Did they stay or did they leave here?
I think they left, yeah. I think
Okay.
they went and tried to
Figure out.
piece it together.
Oh my god. Get a little bit more context.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15
guess
minutes
so.
in, they would have been doing the meeting with algorithm explaining the stuff. So I feel they would have gotten a little bit more information. But man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope it works out for that father and son duo
Yeah,
out
father
there.
and son duo, if you're listening, hit us up.
Yeah,
Let us
please.
know.
I hope this was a heartfelt moment for you out on the courts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I put my headphones back in just in time for the clocks chiming
To just
away by Pink Floyd.
destroy you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
So officially,
the issue with changing the volume so much
Mm,
was that like when On the Run happens, usually we don't have to adjust the volume, so it's fine. But On
yeah.
the Run ends with like a crash sound and then a long echo of nothing for about 30 seconds, and then the clocks come in.
Yeah.
Like it's ticking clocks and they're quite quiet, and then like an alarm bursts in. So I would always like accidentally boost the volume, and then it would like destroy my eardrums with the clocks coming
Yeah.
in, to the point where I was worried about other people in the cinema noticing what I was doing.
Oh, I was constantly worried about that. Like, I would
Yeah.
pull the headphones out real quick, make sure there's definitely no noise, and then sneak them back in and hope I
Aw.
didn't miss any huge things.
Yeah, we were all good. I feel like in the
Yeah.
movie theater, people aren't going to notice that. Pink,
No,
it's
also
quite a
because they're
quiet
not ready
album.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so yeah, Dom switches sides, goes joins the Toon Squad, and then the algorithm puts himself in and starts cheating using the cheat codes. Basically, they are unable to score anymore. Even they get a basket, but it just reverses out and flies into the other one because he's in control of the game. Daffy Duck calls him a son of a glitch.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay. And then they were like, oh, the only way to do it is to do LeBron's move that he did, the like cross up move that crashed the game before, because it was Dom's. It's the same design, except it's just like been added to by algorithm. So surely the same glitch exists. And so, yeah. But when he did this last time in the game, it deleted his character. So whoever does this exact move will get erased. But the only way, like, they need to get one more two, and one more dunk will seal the game, just like in Space Jam 1.
Yeah.
And yeah. So basically, whoever does this move gets deleted. And I love LeBron's logic here, where he's like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna self-sacrifice." He's like, "I don't think I'll get deleted because I'm a real human man," which is just very good logic. But anyway, yeah. So they go in for the play. It gets started. Bugs goes in for the steal. He steals the ball out from under LeBron and does the move himself. And we get great gig for this final play of the game, which is very nice. It's very... We get like slow motion Bugs Bunny dunks. And we get... so Bugs does the move, glitches it out the game so that they're able to score. It's going to miss. So LeBron goes in for the alley-oop, basically to get it in there. Algorithm jumps up and like grabs him, like starts shoving him towards the ground, and you're like, it's not going to go in. But then Dom throws a power up at his feet, like picks up a power up off the ground and throws it at him to get the like jump boost or whatever, and then they get the basket. And there's a callback to earlier, which I didn't mention, where he gets posterized, which is like turned into a poster, and you get bonus points or whatever.
Which I only just learned as an actual basketball term, not just a weird random thing they've done.
Okay, I thought it was just like a video game thing, but fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a move that's so good that makes the poster, I suppose.
Yes, yeah.
Cool, okay.
That's what Wikipedia told me.
That makes sense. So yeah, over this play, we get a fist bump between King Kong and the Iron Giant. And then, Bugs Bunny is dying, like glitching out, ready to die. And yeah, like they've won the game. All the people start returning home, and he's like, "We did it." And it's just like Bugs Bunny embracing his own death, which is just such a wild thing. Like, if you thought him going mad in Westworld, Toon World was strange, like this is another level. Because LeBron goes home, him and Dom start fading out and returning to inside the server room of Warner Brothers Studios, and We just see the tunes all gathered round. They revert back to their like 2D forms, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bugs is like glitching out, and then he turns into a star and ascends into the sky like
Right?
like Jesus Christ or something. It's wild. And then yeah, so like that's it. He just like bursts into a firework, and that's the end of Bugs Bunny. Yeah, so Dom and LeBron, they're out there on the surface world, on the real world, and they're off to basketball camp. And Dom's like, I think I'm going to take a wee break from video games because we did get sucked into one for a little bit, and that wasn't very fun. And then he's like, psych, I took you to E3 gamer camp, game design camp, instead of basketball camp, my boy. I know how you love...
and Dom's clearly got a backpack full of basketball gear and none of his, like, coding stuff.
No, he didn't bring anything. He's like, oh,
yeah.
That's, I guess, thanks, Dad, I guess. But anyway... yeah, so he's doing that, and then he was like, so give me the basketball and go and be a nerdy boy, figure it out, learn how to code a game. He's like, I think I'll keep this here basketball just in case, just for the good times, Garrett. And yeah, so he runs off, and then fucking Bugs Bunny appears in the real world again. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot that they could do this. I forgot that they were in another layer of hell. So the question is it just the like serververse version of Bugs Bunny? Did he legitimately die and this is the one from Space Jam 1 that can come up from underground? Or is it... Or did he not die? Because he says like, there's not really anything that can kill a cartoon character, you know? Like... I'm basically indestructible, LOL. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Or is it the God version that exists as long as people believe? Like he's reincarnated a new one?
It's impossible
I like
to
think so that Space Jam 1 did happen.
Yeah.
Although we do see a poster for Space Jam earlier in the film, which throws everything out of whack.
That's so confusing. Okay.
Yeah. So, let's assume Space Jam 1 did happen.
Sure.
And that involved the Looney Tunes from hell. The Looney Tunes we've met in the serververse are the digitalizations of the cartoons that air and are owned and available on HBO Max. So that was like a different version of Bugs Bunny made of like ones and zeros.
A simulacrum.
And so LeBron then maybe... Obviously, this would have made the news because half the world got sucked into a video game.
Yeah.
So maybe the real Bugs Bunny that lives in hell discovered that, and he reemerged to be like, well, let's hang out with my friend LeBron. Like,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's secret hell bugs out here. But anyway.
I guess the digital shade of Bugs Bunny or any of these characters that exist in the serververse, the digital shade would then get all the real memories of Bugs Bunny because every action Bugs Bunny does that's ever filmed is uploaded into the serververse.
Yeah.
So every memory of real Bugs Bunny exists in Space Jam 2 Bugs Bunny. So thus, when it starts happening the other way, when something exciting happens to digital Bugs Bunny, then I guess there's no reason it wouldn't go back to real Bugs Bunny. So real Bugs Bunny has absorbed all of his digital clones' memories as well, and thus also loves LeBron James.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you cracked it.
What a cohesive movie.
We solved it. There we go. There's no problems at all now. Yeah, so the movie ends with Bugs and LeBron hanging out. Like the Looney Tunes will come out and hang out at his pad over the credits. We get like some holiday snaps or whatever from them, and that's it. What did you think, and how did it sync?
Well, yeah, I stopped the iPod. I gathered my things and shamefully ducked out of the cinema.
I left as fast as I could.
Yes, same. I was so scared about running into someone and having to explain this.
Yeah, classic.
But yeah, what did I think and how did it sync? I first want to know, what did you think of this?
It was a lot. I was like after my saga of a day that I had, I was kind of like dreading it. But I had fun with it. I enjoyed watching
Yeah.
the movie Space Jam: A New Legacy. It was like exactly it was I didn't expect it, but like it makes sense as a sequel to Space Jam and that they're both such like fast food of
Yeah.
movies, right? We said that for the first one. This one is that, if not more so. It's so commercial to the like the nth degree in both good in both the good and bad ways. Like a
Yeah.
lot of bad ways that are pretty questionable in this movie that really bring it down. But
Yeah.
also, like, it's just also a fun kids movie. If you ignore all that weird shit that's happening in it, like, it's probably okay. But yeah, in terms of syncing with Pink Floyd in the cinema, we had some syncs. It was a weird
Yeah.
experience. It was hard to catch a lot. So I feel like it's going to be difficult for me to give like a proper rating for it. It's going to be like, I'm not as confident in giving a number for it. It's not
Yeah.
high. Um, I want to say like I can't. It's what did we give like Mad Max Fury Road because it's better than that.
Whoa, we gave Mad Max Fury Road a 6.
Okay, well it's not a 6. Never mind.
No.
I was wrong about that.
Although it's the Mad Max Fury Road in this movie is better than the Mad Max Fury
Yeah.
Road of in our world
Yeah,
in real
the,
life.
the non-serververse version, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, I was thinking like 4 or 3.5 is my gut reaction there.
Yeah. I'll say that. I'll say again it's like the other Space Jam where elements of it synced. Definitely everything Don Cheadle did synced really well. And I mean, this dad and his son in the cinema synced perfectly by leaving once the
Oh, I
alarms
love
started going.
that. What a beautiful
So-
tale.
They get to help out because they were there.
Yeah.
Maybe that dad and the son go to every screening and interrupt one person.
It's just a piece of performance art that takes place
Yeah.
in every screening. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Warner Bros. Employees.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hired by Sarah Silverman.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like a 3.5, please.
Okay, I'll put you down for
Yeah.
that, and you can see that on the graph there.
Very
sweet.
nice.
Yeah, very good. Up in lights.
Oh.
Cool. Yep, that's
Cool.
it. That's
Well-
the show. What else? What? Like, how is this happening? The future, because we've recorded things a little bit out of order just because of scheduling conflicts. But
Yeah.
I feel like is the other listeners going to even notice? I don't know.
No, the listeners aren't going to notice. This is going to come out very soon after we've recorded it. So, do you have any like incredibly topical references you want to make?
Oh shit. Well, like, not really. I don't really.
No.
I don't pay attention to much. I don't know. I'm not up with the references anymore.
No.
I'm referenced out, Gareth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. How about that? No, I feel like there'll be a different basketball game before that.
Yeah.
Carolyn Polachek has a really good new song that came out a couple of
Oh.
days ago, listeners. So listen to that.
I'll give that a listen.
But anyway, yeah, it's really good. It's called Bunny as a Rider.
Cool.
But yeah, so James, this is so weird because this next movie is your pick, but of course I know it, and I do have a little segue for it.
Oh. Okay, you do
we've-
it. Please.
Okay. Well, of course, as discussed earlier in this episode, I am James deep faking Gareth's voice.
Uh-huh.
So, James,
Yeah.
we've the last couple movies we've covered, we've had, Michael Jordan jumping really high to slam basketballs. We've
Yeah.
had LeBron James jumping really high to slam basketballs. And then a couple episodes before that, we had the jump man himself, Mario.
Yeah.
So we've got to just we've got jump houses galore.
Yeah.
Lots of jump houses. So where do you put your jump house? You put it on a jump street.
Yo. 21
So-
jumps.
Yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah. So tune in for 21 Jump Street
Yeah.
next week.
A film I
Recorded-
shockingly chose.
Yeah. Don't worry, I will.
You call me
I
out.
think next week I'll ask you why you did that.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Until
cool.
then,
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Until then, I've been Gareth Blackler.
I've been LeBron James Barron.
I love that nickname for you.
Oh, thanks.
And we'll see you on the dark side of the tune.
On the dark side of the tune. That's all, folks. I just did that in my normal voice, as if I was a cartoon. I'm one of the other Looney Tunes that's always been around.
Yeah, one of the ones they didn't come and get from his serververse.
Yeah, I was in the car in Space Jam 1. I was on the way. I never made it to the Space Jam. I was just stuck in traffic.
What Warner Bros. World do you reckon Michigan J. Frog ended up in?
I don't know. I hope that he was in Casablanca as well.
Yeah, that's his vibe.
Yeah.
Or like A Star Is Born.
Yes.
If that's Warner Bros.
He's just desperately training a young starlet.
Yeah.
All right, keep all that in. Goodbye.